Today, we are talking about 3 huge mindset shifts to really keep in mind at the beginning of your entrepreneurship journey, because they can really make or break your success as an entrepreneur and just dictate your overall experience as an entrepreneur. So they might be a little bit out there, but I'm really excited to share these with you because they truly make all the difference. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of The Thread. I'm so happy you're joining me today. My name is Kendall. I am a mentor for people starting their fashion brands from scratch. I'm a Parsons graduate in fashion design, and I had my own clothing line for 7 years, which we talk about a lot on this channel. And we talk about mostly the foundational aspects of starting a fashion brand from scratch. So if you want to take a look at that free playlist, everything is in the order that you need to go in. I will link that right here. So today we're talking about mindset shifts. And I just want to say up top, if the word mindset turns you off like it does for me, stick with me. I think the word has been kind of co-opted by MLM girlies and life coaches. And when I watch, things about mindset shifts and all that, I usually don't really get much out of it because they're usually talking about, finances. But today I'm really talking about mindset in terms of success. And what I mean by success is not necessarily just financial success, but the whole journey of being an entrepreneur, having a positive experience, learning, growing, having an experience that is full of abundance, joy. That to me is success. And I really think that these mindset shifts are going to take you from feeling possibly helpless to feeling more empowered, and just more successful and having that positive experience. So let's get into my list. Okay, so number 1, mindset shift. Taking yourself from a victim of circumstances to a creator of your life. Okay, so what do I mean by this? So often the thing I hear the most is like, oh no, I haven't gotten anything done because I don't have enough time. I never have enough time. I never have enough money. I don't have the money to do this right now. So I want you to start practicing acting like every word that you say is casting a spell, okay? Act as if every single word you say, everything you say about yourself and your brand creation and all that is going to come true. So when you say something like, yeah, I'm never going to get this done, I just don't have enough time, what do you think is actually going to happen? It actually becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I've seen it so much. And if you're not signed up for the whole week, create a reality type of thing, law of abundance, that's okay. I think you can at least admit that our whole experience is shaped by how we look at it and how we talk about it, and therefore how we think about it. It's all based on our attitude, right? So if you're saying, yeah, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, well, you're living that every single moment, every single time you say that. And it's not really going to change unless you shift to kind of an attitude of, well, it's going to happen and it's happening and I'm creating it right now, right? More abundance. As cheesy as that may be, it is true, okay? Because I learned pretty early on when I started mentoring people that I could tell if they were going to be successful or not by just the way that they talked about things. And the people that always had excuses for not getting XYZ done, they would have excuses forever. Like it would never change. In fact, I had like a 3-month mark where I was like, okay, if they keep making the same excuses and talking about it like this, I don't think they're ever going to launch. And I was usually right. Obviously, some people would surprise me, but usually I was right because it's an attitude thing. So instead of saying, here's your challenge, instead of saying, I never have enough time, oh, I'm so busy. Instead of saying that, you could say something like, I am getting better every day at working this into my life. I am making the time. I am finding the time for it every day. And every day I get a little more comfortable with making this a part of my life. Every day I get a little more done. It may not be as much as I want. I have to tend to other things. But every day I'm getting closer and closer and closer. Because you know what? The people that were successful and that did launch and did have their brands, they would also say, oh, I feel like I'm not getting enough done. Like I just, it's going so slow, but they would be working on it every single day, right? You have to accept that it might not go as fast as you want, but it's about your attitude. It's how you're looking at it. And if you're saying, yeah, I don't have enough money to do this right now. Now, of course, that may be legit, and I don't want to put you in financial distress, but I have noticed the people that, not even just people I've mentored, like friends, old friends that would have been saying for years, oh, I want to start this business, but I don't have the money for it. They never get to a point where they find enough money because they're not doing anything about it, and because they're thinking so negatively. They're not thinking in any type of empowering way. They're thinking in kind of a victim way. Yeah, I don't have enough money for this. Well, you have to, number one, do something about it. Be strategic about it. And number two, stop saying things like, I never have enough money. Stop saying that. Okay, so instead, why don't you say, I am actively taking steps to bring more abundance into my life. I am saving the money. I am getting the money. The money is coming to me, and I am, going to use this money for my brand. Say things that are at least more empowering, right? You can say whatever you want, but make sure there is not a negative word in there, right? Your words cast a spell. And just my challenge for you for the whole day is to catch yourself if you're saying something negative that you don't want to come true, right? And then go back and reframe everything in an empowering way, okay? Number 2, mindset shift. Take yourself from what am I going to get to how can I serve, okay? So this might seem really woo-woo, like how can I serve? But it's really, honestly, the basis of being a good entrepreneur, right? You want to take your own ego and your own self and what you want to do, and you're just, the whole time you're visualizing like being a fashion mogul and going viral. And that's all well and good. Of course, everyone wants to like make a lot of money from this, and that's great. And I hope that happens. But if you're not putting the serving the customer and serving the world first, you're going to have a more difficult time because it's all about you, right? You need to be thinking, how can I serve? How can I be useful? There is this author I like. He's a spiritual person called Andrew Harvey. He wrote this book called The Hope that I really liked. And there's this line that I always remember. And it's part of this prayer that he has. And it says, Lord, let me live to be truly useful. And I love that, because it's saying, let me be here to serve a purpose. Let my life be important for some reason. And I think it's the same thing that you can apply to being an entrepreneur, right? You don't need to just think about yourself. You need to think about serving, because it's my personal opinion that we have plenty of stuff, okay? We don't need any more clothing, to be honest, do we? We don't really need that. What we need is people that, want to help others, want to serve the world. What we need is more things that we need and that bring other people joy, instead of you're just putting your stuff out there because you want to be rich and you want to have a clothing brand, right? Well, where's the service in that? I really think that you're going to get a better experience, and just as a person on this planet, if you shift your mindset from one of getting to one of giving. So your mantra, if you choose to accept it, if you like this, it always meant a lot to me, is let me live to be truly useful, and then apply that to your business as well. Okay, number 3, mindset shift. Taking your attitude from entrepreneurship is hard, I'm just like going with what's happening to me, to this is a learning experience. This is going to make me grow. This is going to make me have a more full, rich life, right? If you're one of those people who kind of believes Earth is kind of a school and we come here to learn certain lessons, maybe you think you decide on your life in your life situation before you come to Earth. I don't know, it's up to you. But I do a little bit. And that means that there will be certain things that if you undertake them, you will just grow so much as a person. One of those things is relationships, right? One of those things is becoming a parent. Oh my God. And another thing I think is becoming an entrepreneur. You know, nothing throws you into the fire quite like some of those things. So, you know, knowing that yes, there's going to be challenges. Yes, there might be disappointments. This is all part of the experience. And if you find meaning in it, that's where you get a lot out of it. And you can approach it with an attitude of joy and gratitude, really. What does Dr. Phil say? You win some and you learn some. You don't lose, you just learn from it. And just with my own experience, when I started my brand, I was the most shy person with the lowest confidence. I don't know why. I think I'd had some bad relationships that made me have no confidence whatsoever. And the thought of putting myself out there as a brand owner, oh my God, that was the scariest part for me, the scariest part of the whole experience. But I did it. And, 7, 8 years later, I'm so much more confident because I did this hard thing. And now I can talk about it with you guys and I can share my experience and hopefully help other people. And I'm so proud of myself. So I learned, I would never say my experience was a failure in any way, shape, or form. I learned so much and I became such a stronger person. And I have another story about this too. Someone I mentored, he had all these challenges, and one in particular would have sent like anyone to the loony bin, right? He was producing in India and he had this huge order where they got everything wrong. He lost tons of money. He obviously couldn't trust them, so now he had to find somebody else. And I would have just screamed, but he goes, well, it's just another experience to overcome. Or no, he goes, well, it's just another challenge to overcome. And I was so impressed by this attitude. And I said, you know what? He's going to be successful because he has this resilient attitude where he just takes things as they come and he learns and he moves on, right? I've seen people get derailed by way smaller things. So, and that's something like I was talking about at the beginning. I could just kind of tell by people's attitudes from the get-go, are they going to be successful or not? And this is one of the signs of people that are going to be successful. Are you resilient? Do you take things as a learning experience, or do you get completely deflated by them and take them personally? So my mantra for you, if you choose to accept it, is I am here to live fully with the joys and challenges of this life, right? And that can be applied to your brand as well. All the joys, all the challenges, give them to me. I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to grow. And it's just incredibly rewarding to think about things like that. So let's recap really quickly all of these. So number 1, shifting from a victim of your circumstances to a creator of your life, being in charge of your life. And I want you to watch the words that you say and how you talk about things, and act like every word you say is a spell, and go from talking about things in a really disempowering way, like you have no control over them, to talking about things in an empowering way. Even if it seems cheesy, even if it seems like it's not true, try it for a while. I promise it makes a huge difference. Number 2, shifting from what am I going to get to what can I give? How can I serve? And your mantra from that is, let me live to be truly useful. And number 3, shifting from, oh my God, this is hard, this challenge sucks, I can't deal with this, to this is a lesson. This is a learning experience. I'm not going to take this too seriously because I'm learning, I'm growing. So your mantra for that is, I'm here to live fully with the joys and the challenges of this life. Okay, so I hope that those helped you. Thank you for sticking around through this woo-woo stuff. I am wearing a kimono today, so I'm allowed to be a little out there, right? So let me know in the comments if this helped you guys, if there's any other mindset shifts that you think have helped you that you want to share. And like and subscribe. It really helps this channel. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys in my next episode.